Hello everyone, Milan here, and welcome to the AI War. I came up with the idea to simulate a world war, but the two sides were controlled by different AIs. My first thought was doing ChatGPT and Gemini, and ChatGPT had no problem with it, but Gemini was too much of a coward, and they're against war and stuff. So I had to get a replacement, which is why ChatGPT is now instead fighting Claude. I had them both choose what color they wanted to be represented by on the map. ChatGPT chose electric purple and Claude chose a blue. So, yeah. The question is, which side gets to pick first? Well, I had the two of them play rock, paper, scissors, because I thought that would be the most fair way to decide. At first, both of them chose rock, so I had to have them go again, which ended up resulting in ChatGPT picking scissors and Claude picking paper. So ChatGPT got to choose the first country for this massive war. And they selected none other than the United States of America. It was then Claude's turn to pick, and they chose to go for China. Then we go to ChatGPT, who picks... Why does this keep happening? Who picks the United Kingdom. Also known as the United King Stupid. Cue laugh track. Claude's next pick was Russia. We then go back to ChatGPT, who decides to pick Japan. Actually, no, that belongs to Russia, I think. Keyword think. Claude then is up to bat and picks India. ChatGPT goes for Germany. Claude goes to Brazil. And ChatGPT picks the French. Disgusting. So they also get New Caledonia over here. Then Claude is up to bat again and takes Iran, before GPT picks Australia. Then Claude Monet picks Pakistan, and GPT goes for South Korea. Claude drafts Turkey, followed by GPT grabbing up Canada. Bap, 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 bap. Bap. Which already gives them most of North America. And Claude recruits Saudi Arabia, giving them even more of Asia. GPT is up next and picks Italy. And it goes back to Claude, who picks Mexico. Then GPT, South Africa. And Claude goes for Nigeria. GPT then goes Egypt, while Claude goes for Indonesia. Da 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 da. Bap. The question is, will they also get Timor-Leste? I would foreshadow it, but I'm just going to state Timor-Leste is going to be in the last 5 picked. I'm not going to say which one of those 5, but it's going to be in the last 5 picked. GPT wants to go for Turkey, then they remember that Claude has already taken it, so they instead go Poland. We then see Claude picking Kazakhstan. And GPT goes for Vietnam. Wait. Yes. Claude goes back into South America and takes Venezuela. Followed by GPT taking Norway, which also gives them Svalbard. I believe that's how it's pronounced. Claude goes back to South America with Argentina, which also gives them that. ChatGPT goes back into Asia with Thailand, and it goes back to Claude, who captures Ukraine. Then we go to GPT, who picks Sweden. And Claude goes Algeria. GPT takes Greece. And Claude Monet goes for Bangladesh. ChatGPT goes for the Netherlands. And Claude recruits Syria. Then GPT decides to go for Chile, followed by Claude taking Ethiopia. GPT goes for España. And Claude goes for Myanmar. Then GPT goes for Belgium to secure even more of Europe, followed by Claude taking Iraq. Then we go back to GPT, who secures Finland. I don't know why I'm pronouncing some of these weird. I guess I just feel like it. Then Claude takes Belarus. And GPT goes with Portugal. Followed by Claude picking Afghanistan. And GPT going for Switzerland. Some traditionally neutral countries like Switzerland are included in this because they could ultimately end up going to war. It's just they've stayed neutral for a bit, but you may notice that Mongolia is white. That's because I forced them to stay neutral because I believe it's in their constitution, but Mongolia has something, as I said, I believe in their constitution, which prohibits them from going to war, so I'm going to force them to stay neutral. Then Claude grabs up North Korea, and GPT gets Singapore. Claude goes and recruits Israel. And GPT goes New Zealand. Claude responds with Cuba. And GPT follows up with Denmark. Followed by Claude taking Yemen. GPT then takes Iceland, followed by Claude taking Morocco. Then GPT wanted to go for Saudi Arabia, but they can't, so they took Jordan. Followed by Claude taking Libya. And after I remember to tell ChatGPT that Western Sahara is separate from Morocco in this, they decide to take Western Sahara. Followed by Claude taking Oman. Before GPT takes Luxembourg. And Claude takes Azerbaijan. Then GPT goes for Croatia. Claude goes for Uzbekistan. Followed by ChatGPT going for Czechia. I said Czechia. And Claude wants to take Mongolia, but I tell them that Mongolia is a no-no, so they go for Turkmenistan instead. You see, it's always still possible that they decide to invade Mongolia, but if Mongolia is ever invaded, I have an idea for a wheel that will be spun, and then we'll see what fun will happen. GPT goes for Hungary next, followed by a take of Serbia by Claude. Then Slovakia is taken, as well as Lebanon. Then ChatGPT takes Bosnia and Herzegovina. And Claude goes for Ecuador. ChatGPT responds with Peru. And Claude takes Kenya. GPT takes Gabon. Followed by taking Tanzania. Then Cote d'Ivoire. Okay, this is awkward. Because, for some reason, when I filled in Cote d'Ivoire for ChatGPT before, Fate decided that Liberia would also get filled in, because I guess the line right here was thinner than it was supposed to be. But it isn't doing that now, so just trust my word for it. I promise. So Liberia is also under ChatGPT control. And Claude takes Ghana. ChatGPT goes for the DRC, followed by Claude taking Sudan. ChatGPT takes Angola. And Claude takes Mali. Then ChatGPT goes to Namibia, followed by ChatGPT taking Niger. ChatGPT goes for Botswana, followed by Pix for Chad. Zambia. Then the car. Mozambique. Madagascar. Malawi. Cameroon. Zimbabwe, followed by Claude taking Tunisia. ChatGPT takes Senegal. Claude takes Burkina Faso, followed by pics of Seychelles, Mauritania, the Comoros, Djibouti, Sao Tome and Principe, Eritrea, Guinea, the Gambia. Weird they would take something completely surrounded, but okay. Then Mauritius. Followed by Claude taking Guinea-Bissau. Then ChatGPT goes for Cabo Verde. I believe that's how it's supposed to be pronounced. Before Claude goes Benin. And GPT counters with Togo. Followed by pics of Sierra Leone. Then ChatGPT wants to... I said pics, but I guess I should say this because why not? ChatGPT wanted to go for the Gambia, but they forgot that Claude already took it, so they go for Guinea instead, which they already took. So they want to go for Tanzania, then their dementia leaves for a second, and they remember that Claude already has that, so they choose to go for Eswatini instead. I guess I should blow my nose. I'm feeling pretty stuffy. Okay. That's a bit better. Then another African pick with Rwanda. Followed by Burundi. South Sudan. Lesotho. Then Equatorial Guinea. Then ChatGPT wants Gambia, but then they remember that Claude already has it. And they wanted to do Eswatini, then they remembered that they already had it. Then they wanted Djibouti, which they remember Claude already has. Then they want to do Malawi, which they already have. So they can't remember what the remaining African countries are, so they just ask me to remind them. And I let them know that it's The Rock, Uganda, and Somalia. And they pick Uganda. Followed by Claude picking The Rock. And GPT grabs up the last of Africa with Somalia. Then we move to Asia with Claude picking Taiwan. By the way, I don't recognize all of the countries that are involved in this, so if you don't, then that's completely fine. I just want to include all of the ones that are on this map. Like, personally, I don't recognize Palestine as a country, but I'm still including it in this. Moving on, ChatGPT acquires the Philippines. I would say after the Spanish-American War, but both Spain and the United States are on their side. So, Laos was taken by Claude, followed by Malaysia by GPT, then Cambodia by Claude, and Brunei, followed by Claude taking the aforementioned Palestine, and GPT goes for Cyprus before Claude goes for the Vatican, aka Holy See. So GPT responds with Monaco, followed by San Marino from Claude, and Andorra from GPT, then Little Liechtenstein, because apparently that's more appealing than all of the other way bigger countries in here. Yeah, apparently they would rather have Vatican City on their side than Colombia. Great pick, great pick. Then Malta is taken by GPT, followed by Kosovo, and then North Macedonia, Albania, Montenegro, Slovenia. I said Slovenia, not border. Then GPT wants Liechtenstein, but it's already taken. Then they think San Marino, then Andorra, then Monaco, then Vatican. And then they think, oh yes, I'll take Portugal, which they already took a long time ago. And I remind them, and they choose Ireland instead. Claude then takes Austria. GPT wants Switzerland, then they remember they already have it, then they think Norway, then they think Iceland, then they think Finland. And after I remind them that they already have that, they go for Estonia. So then we have a Baltic War with Claude taking Latvia, followed by GPT taking Lithuania. And Claude takes Moldova, leaving Romania and Bulgaria as the last ones in Europe. Except Georgia and Armenia, which are kinda on the line between the continents, but whatever. GPT picks Romania, and Claude takes Bulgaria. So GPT decides they want to bring the war to the Americas and start off with none other than Colombia. Then Claude takes Uruguay, and GPT goes Paraguay. Claude surrounds said Paraguay by taking Bolivia, and GPT then grabs up Guyana. Then next picked are Suriname. Then GPT wants to pick French Guiana, but I let them know that I included that alongside France, so they picked Belize instead. If any of you are mad that I'm butchering a lot of the pronunciations, most of them are intentional. Claude takes Guatemala, followed by a pick Honduras, then Nicaragua, Costa Rica, El Salvador, Panama. Then we go to the Caribbean with Jamaica. Then GPT decides they'd rather have Haiti than the Dominican Republic. And Claude then takes the Dominican Republic. Oh, I guess I forgot to do Puerto Rico for the U.S. earlier. After this, GPT goes for Bahamas. Bahamas, yeah, mama. Sorry, that was horrible. And then instead of going to better places, they decide to go to the Lesser Antilles, everyone's favorite region in the entire world. Claude chooses to go for Barbados, and then GPT chooses to go for St. Lucia, which, let me think. Which one is St. Lucia? Okay, that's Trinidad, that's Grenada, that's that one. Then Claude takes Trinidad and Tobago, followed by Grenada, St. Vincent and the Grenadines. Then we go to ChatGPT picking Antigua and Barbuda, which would be there. Then Claude snatches up Dominica, and GPT takes St. Kitts and Nevis. Claude then decides they want even more islands, and we go over to Oceania, where they take Fiji. GPT thinks they're an idiot for doing that, and picks Papua New Guinea, because it's so much bigger. Claude responds with Vanuatu. I know Oceania a lot better than the Caribbean, so hopefully I can tell which one's which. Then the Solomon Islands are taken by old GPT. Okay. Okay, there we go. Then Claude decides it's Tonga time. And I believe Tonga is that one, I think. Let me check just to be sure. Oh wait, no, that's Samoa. That's Tonga. I get Tonga and Samoa mixed up a lot. At least of terms on a map. Then Claude takes Tuvalu, which is right there. Wait. Sorry. GPT takes Samoa, then Claude chooses to pick Tuvalu. Then GPT goes for Kiribati, which is that one, followed by Nauru, the Fat Island, then the Marshall Islands, Palau, and lastly, the Federated States of Micronesia. Which leaves us with Asia. As you can notice, Timor-Leste is still here, because no one likes Timor-Leste. Claude decides the Maldives are cooler. And GPT responds with Sri Lanka. Which makes sense, but at the same time, you seem kind of surrounded there. Bhutan is then taken, followed by Nepal. Then Tajikistan and Kyrgyzstan. Things aren't looking very good for Kyrgyzstan right there, honestly. Which leaves us with a mere 7 countries left. First of them to be taken is Georgia, followed by Armenia, leaving us in the final 5. I told you Timor-Leste is still here. Qatar is then taken, which leaves 4. The next taken is the UAE, followed by Kuwait, leaving Bahrain and Timor-Leste as our final 2 countries to be picked. Place your bets on who will be last. The answer is Timor-Leste is picked, okay? Timor-Leste is picked. Sorry for picking on you. Bahrain is the big loser here because no one likes Bahrain. And yeah, this is our final map of countries picked by the sides. I guess I should go over it. Actually, I won't go over it. I'll just show you all it closely. So this is the full map. Here's North America, the Caribbean, then, damn it, hold on. Here we have South America, followed by Europe, the Balkans are a mess, but they're always a mess. Then we have Africa. Da, 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 da. Da, da, da. Then here's Asia. Bah, bah, bah. Bah, bah, bah. Bah, bah, bah. Bah, 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 bah. Bah, bah, bah. Bah, 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 bah. Then lastly, Oceania. Ba 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 ba. Beep beep beep. Beep 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 beep. Beep beep beep. So yeah, this is the final map. This will take place in a day format. So, pick which side you want to root for. And this thing will begin in not very long. Like, I'll probably have the first day premiere the day after this does. So, stay tuned for AI World War. If this goes well, then I'll probably make an AI World War II, or maybe just do it in Europe, because that's where most of the world's conflicts are anyway. So, yeah. Thanks for watching, and I'll see y'all next time. Bye. Bye.